Okay, it's day 96, and this is part one, and I'm a little knocked off my pins this morning. I received an anonymous call, or at least the front desk called up and said that the researcher that came out here from San Francisco is in the hospital, has been put in the hospital. I don't know if for what reason, it's a health issue, or if it's something worse like what Task Force experienced. I'm praying that it's not what Task Force experienced. This researcher was one of my best researchers. She provides incredible research. She sends me articles all the time that are fantastic. This reminds me so much of Task Force, trying to come out to Ohio for that parallel construction. We have the 5,000 missing text messages. I saw the president texted out about that. So much hope last night. Met with two legislative directors or assistants. They were fairly high up, working for congressmen. I won't say which one in Wisconsin, which one in Michigan, but DACA. And I remember making my DACA speech to them, saying, and Task Force was right there when I did it, that this is the time, this is our chance, to do this DACA thing. But we can't do the DACA thing and have the trust of the American people that the vetting process is good if we keep bringing in operatives, if we run drugs out of the House of Representatives, if we run drugs through San Diego and Los Angeles and Oakland in the House of Representatives, and it's protected under the color of law by criminals. I don't know how else to say it. The destruction of this evidence, of this server with these 7,000 logins for the Awans, was a criminal destruction of evidence. That is the only way I can say it. The deep state, in order to pay to play in Washington, I never thought it was this bad. But the reason why there's drugs in Washington, D.C. is because there's no other way these countries can buy these weapons. Sometimes it's gotten worse with the human trafficking to pay for weapons. And also, used to be just getting the mining resources, the oil resources, but it's moved into this. It's getting worse, is what I'm trying to say. It's getting intolerable, where it's not just drugs. It's in the human trafficking, even organ recovery, as we saw in Kosovo. This has to be stopped, this DynCorp methodology. Do I blame Becerra? Yes, I do, because it seems like whenever we get close, somebody goes to the hospital in an emergency room. Yes, of course, I know who's really calling the shots: the people in the Pentagon, or the people who are just outside of the Pentagon, and are working for companies called KKNR. But this is the Braverman problem. If you're stuck within this, I realize everybody makes their decisions and they don't know all these things when they go into these organizations. I understand Becerra didn't totally know, hey, you're going to end up running the drug operations out of these California ports. But at some point, even at the point of death, of risk of death, you have to be honest. You have to come forward. Teresa Grafenstein, as the Inspector General, I believe, did as much as she could. Did she have a dereliction of duty for her for Congress? Yes. But under what threat? Under what threat was she dealing with? This beating, and I have strong information and belief there were other beatings of different people here in the Virginia area to quell this drug investigation, this Operation Cassandra, that I am going to make the decision to drop my case against Teresa Grafenstein. She is a Braverman. She is caught up in this horrific web of drugs for guns, drugs for guns, drugs for guns. It has to stop. Becerra, I know that you didn't know that that's what you would end up doing on that server. I know that's why you falsified and gave a false image to the district attorney. But I'm calling on you now to reach deep inside yourself. Think about all the DACA kids that you are going to smear right now. Now's not the time to make California a sanctuary city. Now's the time to come forward and say, this must end. You don't have to say it publicly, but internally to your people, you have to say, I want out of this. McCluskey wants out of this, my deputy district attorney. This must end. This must end. Go back to selling just recreational drugs. Stop the drug targeting. Stop the drug targeting. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm sorry this is a little bit emotional today, but we just had a researcher that's been taken to the emergency room with an anonymous call to my hotel.